may start.
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Warm Scouts and Guides, greetings to all of you. I'm Mrs. Anima Diamari Eka on behalf of the virtual webinar on upskilling our nation's young workforce organizing team. Extremely happy to wish you a very good evening to honorable resource speaker, honorable dignitaries, my dear robbers, rangers, scouts, guides, and respected YouTube viewers. It's been 2 years since COVID-19 started, but it did not stop us getting together and creating a better world in small ways. We, the Scouts and Guides family, practice loyalty, trust, and friendly. So let us work unitedly as a team. Teamwork leads to success and dreams come true. Let us not forget our creator of this beautiful world. His blessings are always upon us in different ways. Now, to lead this wonderful event, I'm so happy to introduce an active ranger, Ankita Pandey, Messenger of Peace and Rajya Puruskar from NF Railway, New Bongaigaon District. So welcome Ankita Pandey and all the best. And also another dynamic ranger, Priyanka from Kolkata, and also a Rajya Puruskar. So Priyanka, welcome and wish you all the best. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request everyone to stand up for the general salute. Salute. जैसे थे. Prayer begin.
दया कर दान भक्ति का हमें परमात्मा देना, दया करना हमारी आत्मा में शुद्धता देना, हमारे ज्ञान में आओ प्रभु, आँखों में बस जाओ, अंधेरे दिल में आकर के परम ज्योति जगा देना, बहा दो प्रेम की गंगा, दिलों में प्रेम का सागर, हमें आपस में मिलजुल कर प्रभु रहना सिखा देना, हमारा कर्म हो सेवा, हमारा धर्म हो सेवा, सदा ईमान हो सेवा, वो सेवक चर बना देना, वतन के वास्ते जीना, वतन के वास्ते मरना, वतन पर जान फिदा करना, प्रभु हमको सिखा देना, दया कर दान भक्ति का हमें परमात्मा देना, दया करना हमारी आत्मा में शुद्धता देना.
Possible to fly without motors, but not without the knowledge and the skills. Greetings for the day to one and all. This is Ranger Priyanka Prajapat, Young Women Ambassador from Rajasthan, along with the amazing youth.
Ranger Ankita Pandey, Messenger of Peace of NF Railway State. So we are here to fly with knowledge and skill. With this, we welcome you all in a series of webinar upskilling our nation young workforce. With this theme, Skill Youth Nation Pride. Now I'd like to invite Ms. Anima Deimari, ma'am, the dynamic leader of Assam State, for welcome speech.
Thank you, Ankita. Hello, everyone. Namaskar once again. As I have given my introduction at the beginning, so I'm not going to repeat, I really feel honored and privileged to welcome each and everyone. We are delighted to welcome Honorable Resource Speaker Sir Avinash Narjari, lawyer and program manager for social action for human rights, Guwahati, Assam. Welcome, sir. And I'm also very happy to invite and extend my warm welcome to Honorable Sir Amar B. Chetri, Joint Director of Scouts Program Training. Sir, your presence is a great support for all of us. Welcome, sir. We are very glad to welcome Honorable Sir Analendra Sarmaji, Assistant Director of the Bharat Scouts and Guides, NER. Welcome, sir. It's truly a great privilege to extend a hearty welcome to all the professional office bearer of National Headquarters, panelist members, respected Sir Gunajit Das, Office IT of Northeastern Region, organizing team members, all the participants, and YouTube viewers. Welcome to you once again and have a good stay with us for this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the welcome speech. आगे बढ़ना है, कुछ और सीखना है. आइए बुलाते हैं आनलेंद्र शर्मा सर को, जिन्हें यूथ को स्किल यूथ में बदलना है. सर, अब ये वर्चुअल मंच आपका है.
Thank you. Ankita, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good evening to one and all present here. Most respected, our Joint Director Scout Amar B. Setri sir, and our resource speaker, Mr. Avinash Narjari sir, all the professional of Bharat Scout and Guide, and all respected office bearers who are present in this webinar now. All the core team members, all participants who connected in this webinar through Zoom, and all the viewers of YouTube channel who are connecting with us through YouTube. The Bharat Scout and Guide is one of the largest youth organization with a membership of around 5.7 million spread all over the country and affiliated to the World Organization, UZOM and WAX. The Bharat Scout and Guide has adopted all the flagship scheme of Government of India as priority training program for Scouts and Guide in our country. It may be Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, and many more. All schemes adopted by Bharat Scout and Guide for the development of community. Also, we adopted all the community-oriented programs planned by UZOM and WAX. Kushal Bharat is one of the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. And Skill India, the National Skill Development Mission of India, launched by Prime Minister Modi ji on 15 July 2015. The vision is to create an empowered workforce in our country with the help of various scheme and training courses. The main objective of the Skill India program is to provide adequate training in various skills to make our nation develop and utilize the maximum young force. Being a leading youth organization in the country, the Bharat Scout and Guide India also trying to create an active, responsible citizen and contribute in the development of the nation. A series of webinars on upskilling our nation's young workforce, planned by national headquarters of Bharat Scout and Guide, and going to be started from today, that is 8 December 2021. And the first phase, we are going to continue up to March 2022, and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. we are going to have this webinar to motivate a large number of young members to take up skill development training. The training will focus on how to do something specific and result in a learned skill that can be put to immediate use to become self-reliant. We are going to cover 21st century skill proficiency basis, career counseling, and today we are very happy to have a dynamic personality with us as a resource speaker who is connected with grassroots level and very young and energetic. He is a lawyer, is currently working as a program manager for social action for human rights, a rights-based voluntary organization based in Guwahati, Assam. Basically, he is involved in creating awareness on rights of people among the people in both rural and urban areas, and conducting training programs on paralegal and advocacy skill, and train more than 500 paralegal persons on human rights, right to information law, right to education law, legal aid, labor law, child rights, women rights, and many more. Is Mr. Avinash Narzari. I took privilege to welcome you, sir, on behalf of our Honorable President, Dr. Anil Kumar Jain, and Honorable Chief National Commissioner, Dr. K.K. Khandewal, and entire Scout Guide fraternity of Bharat Scout and Guide. Of the next 80 minutes will be your time to interact with Mr. Avinash and grab more information in this field. And this beginning of the skill webinar will be a impact on the youth of India. Wish you all the best. All the participants, please make a note. Please complete the feedback form, which will be shared in the end of the webinar, and it will be open for the next 24 hours. A digital participation certificate will be issued by the national headquarters as mentioned in the circular every week. And at the last of the series, national headquarters will recognize all the participants who attended all the webinars and create impact in the community with the learning from this series of webinar on skill. Wish you all the best. And also I take privilege to congratulate our Joint Director Scout, Amar Bishetty sir, in this occasion. Congratulations from the team of BSG for Skill on receiving Messenger of Peace Hero Award and being name and fame to Bharat Scout and Guide India under your national coordinationship. Our BSG India reached the extreme height, and we hope that our members can do more and more to create a better world through scouting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our very respected Mr. Analendra sir. We are sure that we will enjoy this webinar and learn a lot. जिसका हमें था इंतजार, जिसके लिए था हर कोई तैयार। जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रही हूँ श्री अविनाश नजरे जी की। Mr. Najre ji is a lawyer and is currently working as a program manager for Social Action for Human Rights, a right-based voluntary organization based in Guwahati, Assam. Basically, he is involved in creating awareness on rights of people among the people in both rural and urban areas, and conducting training programs on paralegal and advocacy skills. Mr. Najre also worked as a program manager for Legal Cell for Human Rights in Guwahati. He is a co-founder of Borderland Development Foundation, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from IGNOU Guwahati, Bachelor of Law from BRM Government Law College Guwahati. As a student and youth, he has served as the General Secretary of the Students' Union of KC Das Commerce College in Guwahati, and he was the founding General Secretary of the Border Students Literary Society of KS Das Commerce College too. We heartily welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, our audience are eager to listen to you. So, sir, we heartily welcome you to speak few words and encourage our audience.
Thank you so much. Is my time now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful introduction. So at this moment, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the entire family of the Bharat Scouts and Guides for giving me this opportunity to speak and to interact with our pride, the Scouts, Guides, Rangers, and Robbers from across India. And warm greetings to all who have joined this webinar and those who are watching this webinar live on YouTube. Am I audible, sir? Arindra, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you so much. I would like to extend my special thanks to Honorable Sir Analendra Sharma, the Assistant Director of Bharat Scouts and Guides, Northeast Region, Sri Amar B. Chetri, Joint Director of Scouts for Program Training, National Headquarters, Mrs. Anima Daimari Ekka from Assam, Sri Rutik Sharma, Scoutmaster and National Youth Committee Member, and Ms. Ankita Pandey, Ranger, and my high salutation to Honorable Director of Bharat Scouts and Guides of National Headquarters, Sri Rajkumar Kaushik, though he is not present at this moment with us. So, my dear Scouts, Guides, Robbers, and Rangers, and youth leaders, I will talk to you on paralegal and advocacy skills today. And I will share more of my experience as a trainer on paralegal and advocacy skills, as I have been, as you have been introduced. I have been introduced to you that I have trained a lot of people on paralegal and advocacy skills. I have gained some experience as a trainer, and I have monitored a lot of some hundreds of paralegal persons in Assam, those who are really working in the grassroots level, especially in the rural areas. So I would like to share my experience. So I have actually just prepared a slide, and I will share the slides with you all. Can you all see the slides? Yes, I guess so. Can you see the slides? Andalendra sir, can you see the slides?
Yes, sir,
okay,
yes.
thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Fine. So it's not moving. I'm trying. Please wait. I'm having a technical problem here. Wait. Okay, it was working now. So paralegal and advocacy skills. So we will learn about what is paralegal and what are the advocacy skills today. First of all, I would like to tell you the meaning of paralegal. So here, the meaning, first of all, the meaning of para, near or resembling, that is the para, near, like nearer. You are like a lawyer, or you are like a doctor. It is a near or resembling. Please just notice the meaning of para here. The meaning of para is the near or resembling. So the legal, which we know is relating to the law or permitted by the law. It is yeah, and the meaning of volunteer. Here I am including the word volunteer because we will learn about paralegal volunteers in my next slides. So the meaning of volunteer, as we all of us know, is a person who does something, especially helping others, willingly and without being forced or paid to do it. A volunteer is someone who does work without being paid for it because you want to do. Like you have the rangers and the rovers who are providing free services. So they are actually the volunteers. So that is one of the examples. So now, what is then the paralegal? So actually the paralegal is a person. We can call it a paralegal, a personnel, or a paralegal person, or a paralegal volunteer. Now we will say just call it paralegal. So paralegal is a person trained in subsidiary legal matters and not fully qualified as a lawyer. They are trained on some minor laws, on basic laws. They are not trained on all the laws which we study in colleges, in law colleges, when we do graduation in law or masters in law. So this paralegal actually, they undergo training on some basic laws or the subsidiary laws or the legal matters. This paralegal, he is a lawyer's assistant actually. He is an assistant of a lawyer or a solicitor or an advocate. And he is not admitted to the practice of law, but trained to perform certain legal tasks. Like he cannot perform as an advocate. He cannot represent clients in a court of law. So he is actually an assistant of a lawyer or a solicitor or an advocate. So a paralegal can be called a legal assistant. Paralegals do research for lawyers working at the organizations. These paralegal persons, they work in different organizations. They work in in NGOs. I will come to those. I have the slides for those. So now what we understand about paralegal is they are actually not fully lawyer. As we know, like we have you must have heard several times about paramilitary and then paramedic. Like for example, all of you know that the paramilitary or I mean the paramedics or the paralegals. You have heard paralegal. I do not know whether you have heard it before. Maybe most of you are hearing for the first time. So as you know, paramedic or paramedical personnel are the persons trained to give emergency medical care to people who are injured or ill, mostly in a setting outside a hospital. The paramedics have the knowledge, skills, and clinical expertise to access, treat, diagnose, supply, and administer medicines, and do not require to go for MBBS studies. They did not go. The paramedics did not go for the MBBS studies. Likewise, we have the paramilitary. So these paramilitary forces, they're actually not the army. They don't fall in the category of army. So these are the forces set up to protect the internal security of the country, as well as support the defense services in securing the borders of our nation, of our country, India. So then paralegals. So they are, as I said, they are not actually the lawyers, but they are like lawyers, assisting lawyers, but they know the law. So this is the concept. I think you are clear about what actually these paralegals are. So in the next slide, what I have is, it is paralegal volunteer. So the word volunteer is added here. So we can call, we actually just use the word or the term paralegal most of the time. But when is this word volunteer added? When do we use this word volunteer with paralegal? So many of you may be aware, I think, about this National Legal Services Authorities. In the year 1987, we got a law passed by the Parliament of India. The name of the law is the National Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. So in that law, in that act, it is clearly mentioned about setting up or forming of National Legal Services Authority in the central level. In the state level, we have the state legal services authorities, and in all the districts of India, we have the district legal services authorities. So the NALSA, or the National Legal Services Authority, it brought out a scheme called the Paralegal Volunteer Scheme in the year 2009. Before that, we used to call just paralegal. But from the year 2009, we have come to know about this paralegal volunteers. Then the volunteer word is included here. So actually, what is this scheme actually? So this scheme aims at imparting legal training to volunteers. The volunteers are those who are selected from different walks of life. From different walks of life, I will tell you who can be paralegal volunteers. I have got this in my next slides. So these paralegal volunteers are called paralegal volunteers, or in short, we call them PLV. So they are the ones to ensure legal aid reaching to all sections of people in the country. As you know, and you have heard several times, that the law is equal for all, and we are equal in the eyes of law. And you know, we have the economic disparity. We have got rich people, we have got beggars, we have got so many thousands and lakhs of economically poor families, those who cannot afford lawyers, they cannot pay to the lawyers, they cannot hire lawyers by paying money. So in that case, what can they do? So if they have to defend the cases in the court of law, they will need a lawyer, an advocate, a licensed advocate. In that case, if a person cannot hire a lawyer or cannot pay a huge amount of money to a lawyer, he can go to the DLSA, District Legal Services authorities, you can note down my words, district legal services authorities, we call in short DLSA. So in all the DLSA, we find secretary. There are secretaries appointed in all the DLSA, and these DLSA, the secretaries are the judicial officers. For example, in Assam, the secretaries of the DLSAs are the AJs, that is the Assam Judicial Service Officers. They're the officers. So, so if you are in need of a legal aid or a legal assistance of a free advocate, then you can visit to the DLSA. You can meet the staff members of DLSA of your concerned districts, or there are also front offices set up in all the DLSA. You can go enter the front office where the PLVs sit. The PLVs, paralegal volunteers, they sit in the front offices. So if you are in need of the legal assistance, you can go to the front office and you can talk to the PLV and you can tell your problems there. Then, so these PLVs, actually, they will listen to you and they will convey your message or your issue to the authorities of the DLSA. And this DLSA, these PLVs, paralegal volunteers, they help the people needy, especially the people of the weaker sections. They actually, especially, this is not only in the rural areas. PLVs are there in both the rural areas and the urban areas. So it does not mean that the PLVs are only in the rural areas, but the poor, there are many people living in the urban areas. So if they are in need of a lawyer, advocate, then they can approach the DLSA as well in the metropolitan cities. Then these paralegal volunteers are expected to act as intermediaries, bridging the gap between the common people and the legal services institutions to remove impediments in access to justice. By institutions, I mean to say the DLSA or the legal services authorities of the high courts or the legal services authorities of the Supreme Courts. And also in the taluk levels, we have the legal service authorities. So these are all, this can be called the institutions, which I have just read here. You can see mentioned the legal services institutions. So, so the next slide that I have is where do paralegals or paralegal persons work? So where do they work actually? Now I'm saying at just paralegals or paralegal persons. Don't be confused. I'm not saying now paralegal volunteers. I've just kept aside this word volunteer. Now just paralegal or paralegal personnel. So where do they work? So this paralegal can work both in the public sector and in private sector. So especially in the public sector, these paralegal volunteers, they are called paralegal volunteers. They work in this mostly in the DLSA. Now in the private sectors, I have the slides. I will show you the slides. So here, now I will talk about the paralegal volunteers. That is the PLV. This work in DLSA. So the eligibility criteria to who are the ones who can be paralegal volunteers. This one needs to be a graduate in law or a graduate in any discipline. So now who can be a paralegal volunteers actually? Now let us learn. Number one, what I have put is the teachers, including retired teachers. Teachers. So they teach in schools. Maybe it could be in a private school or in a government school. So teachers can be the paralegal volunteers. So the retired government servants and senior citizens can be paralegal volunteers. The MSW students or the Master of Social Work students and teachers can be PLVs. The Anganwadi workers can be PLVs. Doctors, physicians can be PLVs. Students of law till they are enrolled as a lawyer. I mean, till they are enrolled as a lawyer. as as an advocate. They can be paralegal volunteers. So members of political, non-political organizations can be a PLV, like service-oriented NGOs and clubs, members of women neighborhood groups, educated prisoners with good behavior, serving long-term sentences in prisons. Like you may be wondering, how can the prisoners, those who are convicted and they are jailed and they can be PLVs. Yeah, and the jail authorities keep an eye on the prisoners. Like if a prisoner has a good conduct during his stay in the jail, when he's in his imprisonment, while he's imprisoned, then the jail authorities will observe some people, and if they are showing good behavior and doing some good work inside the jail, inside the four walls, then they can be recommended to be PLVs to the DLSAs. So so any other prison a person whom the District Legal Services Authority or the DLSA or the Taluk, as I said, in the Taluk level, we also have the legal service authorities. If the deem fit, then they can select PLV from anywhere, from any walks of life. Like for example, you can also be PLVs. So PLV shall be a literate one. They should know how to read and write at least, because I will tell you the roles of PLVs include writings, documentation. You need to write applications, FIR, many things. That is why you need to know how to read and write. So preferably they're preferring matriculation or the 10th pass with a capacity for overall comprehensions. Preferably the PLV shall be selected from the persons who do not look up to income or no income. They should not look for income. So they should not look for salary. They should not demand for salary. And doesn't ask like, how much will I pay if I become a volunteer? I mean, paralegal volunteer. As I said in the beginning, volunteer, the rangers and robbers, you are giving free services. Actually, in the district legal service authorities, the PLVs are expected to give free legal services. Of course, they are paid some amount of money, some remuneration for the work. I will come to that in my later slides. So, but they should have a mindset to assist the needy in the society, coupled with the compassion. They should have the love towards society, love towards the people, love towards the people, those who are in need, those who are poor. They should have the empathy and concern for the upliftment of the marginalized and weaker sections of the society. They must have unflinching commitment towards the cause, which should be translated into the work they undertake. So these are actually the qualities or the skills or which are sought by the district legal service authorities from the paralegal volunteers. So let me go to the next slide. So now the recruitment process in the district legal services authorities are as paralegal volunteers. So you can see advertisements. The advertisements are given in the newspapers. So once if you can see the advertisement in the newspapers, then you will be called for interview. The dates will be given for interview. You can apply there for this paralegal volunteers. You'll be called for interviews. Then you will have to attend those interviews. And then after interviews, if the DLSA authority find you fit, then you will be selected as the paralegal volunteers. So this is a very simple process, is what it is. Some duties of trained paralegal volunteers. Now the paralegal volunteers, what are the duties? The paralegal volunteers shall educate people, especially those belonging to the weaker sections of society, to enable them to be aware of the rights, to live with human dignity, to enjoy all the constitutionally and statutorily guaranteed rights, as all the duties and discharges of obligations as per the law. So they need to educate people. They need to disseminate legal information among the people, those who are in need, especially those who belong to weaker sections of the society. You know, like people, most of the people, they are ignorant of law. Many people, they do not know what law is. My experience say I have visited or I have gone to several remote areas, and when I speak on law to the people, to the rural populace, they don't even know the meaning of law or legal. What is the law? They don't even know that. So knowing about the provisions of the thousands of law that we have in the country is a far thing. They don't even know the meaning of the word law. So in that case, it is the duty of the paralegal volunteers to educate them, to tell them what the law is and what are the laws that we have, especially the fundamental laws that we have as citizens of the country. The paralegal volunteers shall make people aware of the nature of disputes, issues, problems. They explain the people, they tell the consequences and the nature of the cases and the issues or the crimes that they have committed. The paralegal volunteers, they actually shall constantly keep a watch on transgressions of law or acts of injustice in their area of operation. Like if there is a violation of law in their areas, then the paralegal volunteers, they will keep their eyes and they will take the necessary actions, or like reporting to DLSA or to the police stations. Those things are done by the PLVs. So ensuring that the arrested persons gets legal assistance if necessary to the nearest legal services institutions. Like legal assistance, they will have to accompany the people in need of legal assistance to the legal institutions like DLSA or the legal services authorities of the high courts or the Supreme Courts or the NALSA or the state legal services authorities. Here, the PLVs, okay, shall ensure that the victims of crime also get proper care and attention. That is the next one. So the next slide, what we have is, I have actually a long slide. I may need to go a little faster. So what is PLVs? What they do is like they also visit jails, the lockups or the police stations, psychiatric hospitals, the children's homes, observations homes, and shall ascertain the legal service needs of the inmates and intimate the authorities concerned about any absence noticed of basic essentials necessities with special emphasis on hygiene. So they visit jails, as I said, police stations, the children's home. They see the conditions, how they are being treated in the children's homes or the observations homes, or whether they are getting legal assistance. As you know, as per the National Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, the children, irrespective of caste, community, sex, the children, those who are below 18 years of age, they have the right to get a free legal assistance or the aid from the DLSA. So they visit the DLSA and this PLVs assist them. So the PLVs shall report violations of child rights, child labor, missing children, and trafficking of children to the nearest legal services institutions or the child welfare committees. Some of you may not be aware about these child welfare committees. These are the committees which are set up in all the districts of India as per the provisions of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2015. So you can report any issues, or if you come to know anything about children and you need to solve that issue, then you can also report to the CWCs, or in long we call it a Child Welfare Committee. So these paralegal volunteers shall assist the DLSA for organizing legal awareness camps in their area operation. They are given some specific area or jurisdiction to act as or to work as paralegal volunteers. So they assist the DLSA sometimes, like they organize awareness programs on the rights of women or the rights of children, or on the witch hunting laws, or on different laws. So in those awareness programs, the PLVs assist the DLSA authorities. So the paralegal volunteers shall give information to the people of the locality about the legal services that I have almost covered that. They inform the people about this, the availability of free legal aid. And Paralegal volunteers are generate awareness among people about the benefits of settlement of disputes, including pre-litigation stage through law advocacy, conciliation, mediations. So we have the alternative dispute resolution systems, like without going to the courts or without taking the matter of the case or the case to the courts. The cases can be settled out of the court, or we can call it a settlement or out of the court settlement. There we have the alternative dispute resolution systems like the law alerts, the conciliation, mediation, where the cases are not heard in the courtrooms. So they are heard outside the courtrooms and settled. So these provisions are told or informed by the PLVs to the people, those who are ignorant about the laws or those who are need of legal assistance. So I'm moving to the next slide. The paralegal volunteers submit monthly report. The one of duties is to submit monthly report of their activities to DLSA or Taluk Legal Service Authority, and they have to maintain a diary of their activities and submit to or report to the DLSAs. The next slide, I have the remuneration for the paralegal volunteers. So I have come to this part of remuneration. As I was saying, that the volunteers should not ask for salary or some remunerations for their work, for the service. But I said they are paid for the services. Like what I am seeing in Assam is like these paralegal volunteers, they are paid like about 500 rupees per activity or per work. Supposing like I assist the DLSA of my district to organize a legal awareness program. So I am a PLV, then I will be paid rupees 500 for that, for assisting the DLSA in organizing the particular the legal awareness programs. Or maybe a person is in need of to approach a police station and lodge an FIR. So maybe a person does not know how to write an FIR. Though writing of an FIR can be done by the police officers if a person does not know how to draft or write the FIR. This PLVs also assist the people, those who do not know how to draft or write FIR. So they draft, and for that service, for that work, the DLSA is paying 500 for that to the paralegal volunteers. And if they take anyone to assisting legal person, taking a person who is in need of a legal assistance to DLSA, to office of DLSA or Taluk or the Supreme Court Legal Service Authority or the State Legal Service Authority, they are paid for those services. Now, the terms of PLV, terms of PLV is actually 1 year. But if a paralegal volunteers work properly, if the DLSA or the Taluk Legal Service Authority, they are what do you call it? They appreciate the work, or your work is appreciable as a paralegal persons, and you are doing good job, then you have the chances of being extended from 1 year to 2 years to 3 years or 4 years. There is no limitation of age. Even after 60 years of your age, you can be a paralegal volunteer. It depends on how you give your service as a total paralegal volunteers. You will be issued an identity card by the authority, by the DLSA, as a paralegal volunteers. So it is not that after 1 year you will no more be a paralegal person, but you can be paralegal persons as long as you can work, as long as you have good health, and as long as you have got good records of working. So induction in courses, like I will move very fast. So once you are selected as paralegal volunteers, as I said, like you need to know the laws. If you don't know the laws, if you don't know how to read and write, how will you disseminate the legal information to the people in need or those who are ignorant? So here, paralegal persons, if they have to be really skilled, to be a skilled paralegal volunteer or a paralegal person, you need to acquire some knowledge, some basic knowledge on law and basic knowledge on how to read, how to write, how to interpret the law. So these are some skills. I will go through some of the skills. I will try to explain you. So it is not that, supposing like you are a student of art or a science and you are not a student of law, and maybe you are a student of humanities, or you are or you have just passed your matriculation and then you have your dropout. You have not continued your studies after 10th, after matriculation. You can still be a paralegal volunteer, provided you can read and write. So once you are selected as a paralegal volunteer, so you will be trained by the DLSA on topics like basic listening skills or communications, observation skills, and drafting skills. How to observe issues, things, how to judge, how to communicate the issues with the DLSA, Taluk Legal Service Authorities, or the policeman. So these skills, communications, are taught to you, you're trained. And drafting, how to draft FIR, how to draft an application, seeking legal assistance for a person from DLSA. So these things are taught or trained to the selected paralegal persons, and they are also trained on family laws, they are trained on property laws, they are trained on criminal laws, they are trained on labor laws, they are trained on gender-centric laws or women laws, laws relating to children, SC, ST, the Prevention of Atrocities Act 89, and the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. You are trained on government orders and schemes promoting social welfare. So when you become a paralegal volunteers, you will be trained on some of the topics which are not taught to you in the law colleges or universities. Like in my time, when my time as a student of law, I was not taught on social welfare schemes or the social security schemes. So these things were not taught to us. So there will be some topics which are not to the law students in the law colleges. So these topics are taught to the PLVs or to the paralegal volunteers. Like I said, the government schemes or the orders or the schemes, promotion, welfare schemes, all those things will be taught to the paralegal volunteers. So I will be taught on how to visit government offices, courts, police stations, prisons, revenue offices, DLSS, TC, TLSCs, etc. The interaction with protection officers, CWCs, JJBs, appropriate authority under PCP NDT Act 1994. So those things will be taught or trained to the paralegal volunteers. So they will also be further trained, like if they become a very good PLV, or he has been showing some what do you call it, like doing some good activities as a paralegal volunteer, then he will be further trained on more topics like the Right to Information Act, which is जानने का अधिकार, हम लोग का जो सूचना का अधिकार जो है 2005 में बनाया गया था, सूचना का अधिकार, तो उसके बारे में आपको सिखाया जाएगा कि ये अधिकार क्या होता है, सूचना का अधिकार के तहत आप क्या लिख सकते हैं, इसमें हमारा क्या अधिकार क्या होता है, उसके बारे में आपको मतलब उसके शिक्षा प्राप्त होंगे आप. तो मोटर व्हीकल्स एक्ट में आपको सिखाएंगे, मेंटल हेल्थ एक्ट 87, मेंटेनेंस एंड welfare of parents, citizens act. This law is not taught to us, these were not taught to me in my law course. And we have the right to education. This was also actually not taught to me in my course in my law times, but I studied it as I become a trainer on paralegal and advocacy skills. I had to read a lot of books. Though I got we had a syllabus on right to information. Fine. So we have this alternative dispute resolution systems, like as I said, conciliation system or the mediation system. Those will be trained to the paralegal volunteers. Basic skills in mediation and counseling, lok adalat, including pre-litigations and its benefits, plea bargaining, rights of marginalized groups, which are those living in HIV, AIDS, disabled, transgender, etc. The Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act, disaster management and legal assistance of victims of disaster under NALSA schemes, which is the Victims Compensation Scheme. The NALSA has got they have a scheme called a victims compensation scheme. So the victims of the rape victims and women, actually they are victims in of the domestic violence, they can get some amount of rupees from DLSA. So those will be trained or taught to the PLVs. Disaster management and legal assistance to victims of disaster under National Scheme, Environmental Issues, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. So on so many topics, so you will become actually like a lawyer and you will get a lot of knowledge. Then those trainings will give you a lot of confidence to be a paralegal volunteer and to voice for the rights of the people belonging to bigger sections of people as a society, and those who are ignorant and those who are in need of legal assistance. So this will make you actually as a package, as a lawyer. You will not be able to represent somebody in the court of law as an advocate, but you will have actually a lot of ideas on law, the legal system, the functioning of the legal system in the country. So that is how then you will be able to give your service as a good citizen of the nation. So as I have told you about, we have the opportunity in the government sectors. Now we also have the opportunities in the private sectors, like we have the law firms. Now let me tell you, these paralegals. Now I'm not going to tell you about paralegal volunteers. No more PLV. We will just say it paralegal. Just paralegal. One word, paralegal, or two words, paralegal, two words. So if you see in the Western countries, we have this industry, the paralegal volunteers, the career is really you know what. So the career options is very there. Law firms, there are law firms, you know, that the registered firms, the groups, group of advocates coming together, and they are registering the firms as partnership deeds or just a firm. So the firm and those firms, the law firms, like, you know, what is the chartered accountant firms and different firms we have in that. Likewise, we also have the law firms where the advocates, the lawyers sit together, they take up case together. So in the law firms, paralegal persons are hired. Even in India, in some of the law firms, in big law firms, they hire the paralegals. How? So what will they do in the law firm? They are not a lawyer. So now what we can see is in the law firms, they recruit people, those who are law graduates. What we can see, generally what we can see in India, they recruits. But now some law firms, they have started to recruit paralegals, provided they are well trained as paralegal volunteers. I will tell you some institutions like which are providing a course on paralegal volunteers. Provided you undergo some trainings on as a paralegal volunteers, so you have a great chance of getting recruited as a paralegal in law firms and in law chambers. You know, law chambers are not, they are not registered. A group of lawyer or a lawyer, he starts a law chamber. You know, a doctor starting, a doctor has a law chamber in where he sits and he looks, I mean, does checkups, all the same, looking after the patients there. So likewise in the lawyers, the advocates have the law chambers. So in the law chambers, there are some advocates who hire paralegals persons. So for different jobs, I will tell you what these paralegal persons are doing in the chambers, law chambers or law firms in the later slides I have. So these paralegal persons paralegals can also work in the NGOs. That means the non-governmental organizations, and they can work with any lawyer together, and also can work as a paralegal in his personal capacity, as a paralegal for himself. He himself is a paralegal person. He is helping someone, he is giving service to people. So and paralegal also can work in the legal clinic. They can start their own legal clinic. You know, we have the clinic and medical clinic where the patients visit, for clinics, for medications, for a unit, for medicines, for checkups. So likewise, the paralegal volunteers, if they have got a vast knowledge on law, or they are good enough in drafting, and if they're good enough in giving legal advice, then they can all start off this legal clinic. This can be one innovative idea, but as per my knowledge right now, what I can see is these legal clinics are not started by the personals, by individual in India, but these legal clinics are set up by the district legal service authorities in the colleges, in the panchayat levels. These legal clinics are set up in where the PLVs sit. The legal service authorities, they appoint some PLVs to sit in turn in the legal clinics. So, but these legal clinics are not started by people those who have good enough knowledge on law. So this can be taken off, like starting off of legal clinics can be done. So the next slide what I have is sorry. So as I was saying, that we have the opportunity in the law firms or in law chambers. So the works of paralegals in the law firms are the drafting. So they may be asked to do a drafting, like of drafting letters. As I say, the paralegals are not advocates also, but they are skilled. They know how to draft. They have undergone training. So they may have to draft letters, or they may have to draft mails. They may have to draft maybe like legal documents, like agreements, company agreements, or agreements between two persons, or different agreements. Or a paralegal can assist a lawyer or a law firm in drafting letters, mails, legal documents, or many things like that. And even the affidavits can be drafted by a paralegal. And also a database management. They have to manage the data, like they are managing in the computer, the assembling the documents, maintaining or classifying or putting the documents in order or in discipline, or keeping records properly. And there are also like some legal firms they have started in India. They have started even in Guwahati, the law chambers, some lawyers, they have started to maintain data in what you call it, the legal tech, we call it legal technology or legal tech. They have developed the technologies. Those are good in the technology, in computers and all. They have developed some system to store data. So many things can be done through computers. So those data management can be done to technology, that is the legal tech or legal technology or law technology. Those can be termed as. And data entry can be done, like typing and all can be done by what do you call it, by paralegals. And research work can be done by the paralegals, like on some specific topic, or maybe on a murder case, or maybe on a theft, or anything on any issues, on maybe on environment issues, maybe on violation of women's rights or child rights, on specific issues. The research can be done by the paralegals, assisting the lawyers or the law firms, preparing for client meetings, like helping them. Like for meetings with the clients, like arranging the place, the meeting place, keeping the things ready. Those are done by the paralegals in the law firms or in chambers. And they also even interview the clients in the absence of the lawyer or the advocate. And also they are engaged in gathering evidence, like a lawyer is fighting a case in the court of law, then he will need an assistance per person. So in that case, a paralegal can assist in gathering evidence by taking the help of the clients. So in the, like in the NGOs, this is like there are several NGOs. Some NGOs they're working on the rights of women. Some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, they're working on the rights of children, on human rights. As I have been introduced, that I work in an organization called Social Action for Human Rights. So we are like, most of our works are they are based on human rights. So there are organizations, those who do not do anything, any other thing other than they are concentrated or focused on, like I said, women's rights or human rights or right to food or the PDS system, several things, or human trafficking. So those organizations or the NGOs, they
I think there is a network issue with Abhinashji.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Sir?
Yeah,
Okay,
some
I'm so
network issue.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
no, some network issue maybe. Yeah, please.
Am I going too fast, by the way? I think there is a question.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going back to my slides. Okay. Can you see my slides now, Anil sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. The problem I'm having today is the connection, the Wi-Fi connection is not working at all.
Is very
So I'm having some problem. Yeah. Okay. So so the paralegal persons are also hired by the NGOs. Like I have seen the paralegal persons working in Assam as district coordinator, or they are even so much in working helping the NGOs as assistant coordinator. No. So that is one of the options in the private sectors. So in the legal clinic, as I have already said, working you can start your own legal clinic if you are expert in law, and also work in the legal clinic of others, others legal clinics. And also in a personal level, you can be resource persons. You can if you are good in law, if you knowledge on or you have got knowledge on law, then you will be invited as resource persons to speak in the legal awareness programs, or maybe in your villages, maybe there are some issues have erupted. What happened? The court is stressing so much, or court is encouraging. Since we have the thousands of law lying in the court of law, the court also encourages us that the petty cases or the petty crimes or small cases can be resolved through alternative dispute resolution system without taking those cases to the court of law. So in the case like this paralegal volunteers or the paralegals can assist the village headmen or the leaders of the villages to resolve some cases in the individual level, since they know some knowledge on law, so they can give their ideas, or they can contribute in resolving the issues in your areas. It need not be a village or a rural area. You can also resolve in the urban areas as well. So you can be a community leader. You can be community leader, and then you can lead a society, and you can to the right direction, and also can give a lot of legal advice and give a lot of knowledge, legal knowledge to the people of your community. So so the next part is the advocacy skills. I have got just half an hour to speak. In half an hour, I will try to cover this advocacy skills. So the advocacy skills. Okay, I'm going to the next slide. So what actually is this advocacy skills? I will be talking to you on 7 lamps of advocacy. So I'm very happy that the initiative of the Bharat Scouts and Guides, and the government, the Pradhan Mantri ji also says about a skill India, skill India. We need a skill India. To be a skill India, our youths, the young workforce, it need not be like after your graduation, you become a skilled person. It's not like that. From our young age, we become ourselves skilled. We make ourselves skilled. And this is the reason the Bharat Scouts and Guides have taken this initiative to make our youths, the young workforce, skilled from this time, from this young age itself. So this webinar is organized. So a series of this will be organized by Bharat Scouts and Guides this month on upskilling our nation's young workforce with the theme Skilled Youth Nation's Pride. You know, so there are Indians, you know, like the CEOs, you must have seen news recently. Even the CEO of Twitter is an Indian now, and we have, you know, the CEO of Google is an Indian. Even the CEO of Microsoft is an Indian. You know, like we need to create more skilled persons. So that is how we need. So then we become proud. We become proud. The nation is proud of them, of those people. So that's why. So we will be proud of our skilled youths. So so in advocacy skills, what actually the advocacy skills is like, it is actually advocacy skills is a course of action. It can be an act of speaking, the skill. That means advocacy skills, an act, it is an act or the skill of speaking on behalf of or in support of yourself, or maybe for some other people, or maybe some group of organization, or for something, or for a place. That is a skill that you need to have, speaking on behalf of others, or maybe for yourself. It's a skill, advocacy skill. And we have the meaning of advocacy. Actually, advocacy means advocacy involves supporting people to exercise their rights by providing assistance to voice concerns, access information, resolve issues, or to identify available support options like the free legal aid. So these are the advocacy. You are advocating for someone or yourself. You're raising your voice for the rights of people, for your rights. We have like the self-advocacy, we have individual advocacy, we have the individual, what do you call it, the system advocacies. We have the different advocacies. But today we are talking on the advocacy skills. So meaning of skills, as you know, skill actually means the ability to do something well, or the expertise that you have, or the ability to use your knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. That is your skill. You're expert in that. Your expertise. You have the ability to do that. You have the ability to complete that work successfully. The skill. It's a skill. Your ability, actually, that is a skill. So then what actually is advocacy? The advocacy skills are the skills that are required in solving the problems and issues of people in ways and methods. There may be different ways. You should know those ways and the methods to solve those issues and problems of others. You're advocating for others, voicing for others, working for others. Advocacy skills, method. So, you know, we have a British judge, and he was also a dramatist. His name was Sir Edward Abbott Parry, and this man was born on 2nd October 1863 in London into a prominent Welsh family, and he was the second son of a barrister, that is John Humphreys Parry, and grandson of antiquary John Humphreys Parry, a leader of the Welsh literature movement in the early 90s, the 19th century. He died actually on 1st of December 1943. You know, he has given us the 7 lamps of advocacy. So I will talk on the 7 lamps of advocacy. So these 7 lamps of advocacy, actually, these skills, the 7 lamps of advocacies, are not only important or required for the advocates, those who are practicing in the courts of law. These skills are also important for the paralegals or the paralegal volunteers. So the first one, I have actually read the 9 laws of Bharat Scouts and Guides. I have read that. And some of the laws among those 9 are like same as the 7 lamps of advocacy. So number 1 we have is the honesty. As a paralegal person, or as a paralegal personnel, or as a paralegal volunteer. So what are the skills what are the qualities that you need to have? The number one is the honesty, I would say, as mentioned in the 7 lamps of advocacy. Number one, a paralegal person should be courageous. He needs to be courageous. He or she, or not, should be able to face any situation in dealing with any case or with the cases. He or she should be able to face the people in power or with the government authorities of any level. She should have the knowledge. A knowledge is power. We have been hearing about it, and we have read about it several times from our school days. Knowledge is power. So actually this applies here. This applies here, and you need knowledge. So if you have the knowledge on the subject matter, you will be able to face your opponents and confidently without any fear. Any fear. Therefore, a PLP or a paralegal persons or a paralegal volunteers need to be courageous while going to defend anybody. So defend anybody. So if you want to be courageous, you need the knowledge on the law or on the subject matter you are dealing with. Okay. So the next lamp of advocacy is the industry. It means the industry means it is not the industry where the things are manufactured. It is not that. Here the industry actually means industrious or the hard labor or the hard work. Here industry means hard work. Here the one needs to be hardworking to remain updated with the changes and amendments of law. You need to be updated. The things keep changing every day. You cannot be a skilled person in any field, or you cannot be successful by following all the old methods or the old skills or the old things that have been done. So the time changes, and we have to adapt the new changes, and we need to learn new skills. That, and you have to invent new things. That is what you have to invent by yourself. You have to be an innovative person. Innovative person, you have to innovate new skills, new ideas. That is what. So how do you innovate those skills? You need to really work hard. It is not that you are working every day and night very hard. It is not that, does not mean like that. You are working hard also. It means also working very smartly and hard, very smartly and hard. Okay, using your brain very smartly. All right. So one needs to gather information, knowledge to be knowledgeable or very good as in his one's profession. I know as we have the scouts and guides, the brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters online right here with us right now. So I would suggest you to read books. It is not, you need not to read books, your syllabus, your school books, or not, that is not enough. You need to read books, collect information from authentic websites to be more skilled and knowledgeable. It is said that law is the jealous mistress. If I have to explain you the meaning of jealous mistress. So since we are talking about paralegal, so the law, I have to talk to you about the law every time. Law, paralegal, law. So it is said the law is the jealous mistress. So here, actually, this was said by Justice Joseph Story. This was Justice of the United States of America. He said, justice, law is a jealous mistress. You have to spend your time with your mistress. That is the law. Your mistress, that means your friend, your mistress. You have to spend time with the law to know more about the law. You have to spend. If you don't spend your time with the law, your mistress, here mistress means the law. So this mistress, the law will be jealous of you. That you are with your wife and you are not giving time to your mistress is the law. That the law is jealous here. So in that case, you will not understand what this your law is. So in that case, you will not be updated. So be updated, you have to give time. So otherwise the law will be jealous of you. Your mistress law is jealous of you. Oh, my this is not spending time with me. So you cannot become a very good lawyer. So maybe very good paralegal also. So you should know your mistress, your friend. And you should not be so ignorant about the law. You have to know the ignorance of law. Ignorance of law or not knowing the law is not excuse, or which is not preferred, which is not advisable. So you have to know the law. You cannot give excuse in the court of law that you did not know the law and you have committed a crime. That is not an excuse. And we have the next one is the wit. Yeah, wit means it is wit means a natural aptitude. It is an aptitude for using words and ideas in a quick and inventive way to create humor, or it is my ability to say or write things that are clever and usually funny. Why do we have to be always serious, right? Sometimes we need to. Though the matter is very serious, we can use add humor in solving some issues. So wit is one of the skills that you can have. You can have this skill as a paralegal person. The next one is the eloquence. That is, the eloquence is related with the oratory skill. That is your speaking skills. Your speaking, the way you speak, you deliver your speech. It means like the fluent or persuasive speaking or writing, or the quality of delivering a clear and a strong message. One needs to be good at speaking and be able to persuade or impress people or attract people's attention. You need to be a skilled speaker. You need to practice that. To be able to influence people, you need to be a very good speaker, right? So when you are talking to people or dealing with people, so if your words, if you are very skilled in talking, then you can convince people, then you can attract people towards you. So you need to practice that, as I said, and you can practice it by yourself, maybe sometimes by reading books very loudly, or by yourself. Maybe you are at home, maybe you are talking to yourself. Some may find it very funny. Maybe you are looking at yourself in the mirror and talking to yourself. So some practice needs to be done, or maybe you are talking to your parents, maybe you're talking to your children, and maybe you are getting chance to speak to your fellow schoolmates or classmates in your skills. So those are some platforms we get to excel our oratory skill or speaking skills. And the next one, the sixth one, is the judgment. So one should have the capacity to foresee the challenges ahead in dealing with his or her opponents. You have to foresee the opponents, what you're going to face. You should have that skill of judgment. A PLP or a paralegal person should be able to give right, sensible, and logical judgments. Okay. So for this, he or she needs to know the sentiments of the society, the customary practices of the society, the laws, and the happenings around. A PLP has to be well aware of those. Okay, you have to know the society, the mindset of the society, the people of the society. He or she should be careful in giving his or her opinions by seeing the consequences. You cannot give simple action without thinking. You're using a brain, simply giving a your opinion. So you have to see the consequences. So if you say something, what would be the consequences of your speech, of your what you're saying? So he or she should be able to keep in and stand by giving logical and legal arguments, and not which are unfounded or which is baseless, right? He or she should be able to perform form opinions. He should be able to form opinions or on the issues with good sense and ability. The last one is, let me check the time. Okay, I've got a few more minutes. The last one we have is the fellowship. Here, why should we be so aggressive? I said, and fellowship you have there in one of the 9 laws of sorry, just call it. Okay, sorry. All right, so I'm finishing, almost finishing. I will take some questions. Okay. All right, so I have read the 9 laws of Scouts and Guides. You have the guides, the trustworthy. You have the Scouts, courageous. And you have also actually the fellowship, the friendship that you should maintain among the Scouts and the Guides. The older sisters, you are all brothers and sisters, right? So this is one of the laws of Scouts and Guides. So here, fellowship, if you are working with your fellow citizens or the people of your community or with people, you need to be good to them. You cannot be like a dictator, or you cannot show that you are all in all, you know so many things, or you are so knowledgeable. You cannot be so proud. People will not approach you. So you need to be good to them, right? So we need not be so aggressive and physically dominant or against against our opponents. That's not necessary. If you are right in your position, those things are not necessary, right? So fellowship is one of the important skills. If you can maintain that skill, physical outsource will give you actually a wrong impression to the public, and that is actually also prohibited by the law. Let us deal with intelligence and what truthfulness. And I don't think all wars are won by battles or through use of weapons. It is not that we have to win a war, we have to use guns and missiles and bombs. So that we can use our intelligence, right? So it should be the spirit of men who follow and of the man who leads. Actually, there is a saying by General George Smith Patton of the USA. He said, "Wars may be fought with weapons, but they are won by men." It is said by George Smith Patton. Okay, and he also said, "It is the spirit of men who follow, and of the man who leads the gains and victory." All right. Okay. So a fellowship. So let me go to the next slide. The skills that we need to acquire or build up from this age. The next one here actually is law firms, skills required to work at law firms and chambers. Okay, these are some of the skills that you need to acquire. The proficiency in MS Words, like MS Office, that's computers. You need to know how to read, because you will be asked to draft letters, as I said, legal documents by the solicitor or by the advocate. So you have to be good in drafting, speed enough in typing. The computer have got good knowledge on MS Office, and you should have the ability to work with legal technology. As I said in the before about the legal technology, you can look about it, search about it. What actually is legal technology? These are some of the advanced technology, how the database is managed, how that data is stored, some analysis made, some cases are stored to the use of technology. Okay, as I said, you should have a strong oral and written communication skills. You should have the skills of creative writing and good writing. You should have the excellent attention to detail and proofreading skills. You may be given a drafted application or a legal document to proofread. You may be given to a paralegal persons will be given. So you have to proofread that. There may be mistakes in grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes. So paralegal persons can do that. Right, and good sense of judgment. You should maybe sometimes, or not maybe, you should sometimes be able to even give good judgment or even advise or tell that the mistakes that have happened in drafting or to your what do you call it, if your employer, right? So I'm almost finishing. So leadership, the paralegal world volunteers, they're actually the leaders in the communities, or they are actually the leaders. So these are some of the qualities, though there are some hundreds of qualities that a leader should have. I'm just mentioning a few of them. So you need to be approachable, then only the people will approach you for legal assistance and talk to you. If you're so adamant, and if you're not approachable, people will not talk to you, will not come to talk to you. So you need to be knowledgeable, knowledge on law, especially, as I said, writing, drafting skills, good image in the society. You should have a good image in the society. And you need to be a sincerity towards your work, and you should be a committed person towards your work. So I think I'm finishing. These are the courses that you can have. These courses, if you are interested, it is not that you are a student of science or you are a student of arts or humanities, then these courses are important for you. It is not like that. So for your knowledge, you can undergo this training. So there's a distance course provided by the Indira Gandhi National Open University. You need to be just 10 pass, that is 11 pass, 10 plus 2 or equivalence. That is, there is a course called Bachelor's Preparatory Program, BPP, offered by the IGNO. So after passing that, you can go for this diploma in paralegal practice. You can do the course, and it is not costing more than 10,000. It is just a very, very less amount of rupees. So there are also, like if you really want to be a good paralegal persons, and if you are if you want to work in law firms or in corporate law firms, and many, you can go for a better course, longer course, which is offered by National Law University of Odisha. Like, it is a 3 years course. The eligibility criteria is 10 plus 2. The examination, you just need to pass your 10 plus 2. So in there, they will charge you less than 1 lakh, a little more than 50,000 of rupees for this course. so you can undergo. So in that case, you will be given a lot of course on different subjects, the subjects on which you were not taught as a law student in your law college. So you will be taught on different topics. And also there are internships. They will take you to the prisons. They will take you to the ZZBs. They will take you to the DLSs. So they give you a lot of exposure to the legal institutions. So this will really help you to to build up yourself, the skills required to be a paralegal. Right. So there are also some other institutions. If you browse the internet, you will see some which are offering certificate courses like 2 months courses, 3 months courses, 6 months courses, or diploma courses on paralegal, on different law related courses. Right. So I think I've come to the end of my slide. So I'm sorry if I've gone very fast at the end, because my time is off. Now I would like to take some questions. So thank you so much. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks, really thanks for giving this opportunity to share my experience and my knowledge as a trainer on paralegal and advocacy skills and what can be done. Thank you so much for opportunity, because I'm really proud and honored today for this opportunity that I'm addressing. I'm talking to my brothers and sisters from across India. And I would like to thank so much Sir Analendra Sharma, Anima Daimari, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Now, if you have questions, you may ask me. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And as we saw the chat box, there is no question, but all are they feel happy with this session. In Q&A button, Subhadeep does from Eastern Railway, how we can join DLAS. Already, I hope you covered that in your part. And from attendees, if you have any question, we have limited time. We can give one chance. So raise your hand, then we can give you a chance to talk. Any attendees, if you have any question? Otherwise, I request to Master of Ceremony to continue the program. We have next 15 minutes to close the webinar. So I request the IT team. We have our Joint Director Amar Bisitri sir with us, and on behalf of this team, BSG for Skill, we congratulate you, sir, for the great achievement and name bring to Bharat Scout and Guide, and we all proud of you. And I request Amar Bisitri sir to bless all the participants on behalf of National Headquarters Bharat Scout and Guide.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anil. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very good evening to all the young people of this country today who are joining this webinar. So first of all, I would like to welcome Sri Avinash Rajari Saab in this webinar. On behalf of the National Association, I take this privilege to welcome you as well as to offer our heartfelt gratitude for accepting our invitation. I was just listening about you and your profile. I myself feel proud because I belong to Northeast. So this is what I feel proud of you. And Assistant Director Northeast Region has nicely caught hold of the right person for the right job today. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and your input was really inspiring. It really inspired me. So I am sure it inspired our young people who are on the Zoom platform as well as BSG YouTube channel. It was very informative. It was very, educative. It has lots of values, and this session was not only about skill. This session was actually the career counseling for our young people. So on behalf of the National Association, I would like to express my gratitude for sparing your valuable time. You are a young youth leader because we are training the young people in the Bharat Scouts and Guides to become a global citizen. And we feel proud that young leader today was the resource speaker, and who was also working on the social sides on social action for human rights. And Mr. Analendra Sharma has already introduced about the Bharat Scouts and Guides. So I need not elaborate. Sir, this series of webinar, the Bharat Scouts and Guides has introduced digital scouting since March 2020. And we have organized more than 400 such webinars since March 2020 after the pandemic. And our main mission is to retain the young people during the challenge by engaging them in this virtual platform. And we have organized a number of youth programs, including career counseling with eminent personalities of the country, including the defense personnel deputed by the Ministry of Defense, Government of India. And today, we are fortunate to have you in our midst, and I'm sure you will accept our invitation in future also. And definitely, we will invite you not only in virtual platform. We are going to have our event in Northeast region at the national level physically from 9 to 13 January in Assam. We are conducting a national integration camp. And definitely, I'll discuss with Sri Analendra ji, and you can come for 1 hour and deliver physically, where 500 youth are expected from the country. This will be a golden opportunity to expose yourself and benefit to our young people. With this, once again, I express my gratitude to you and your NGO where you are working. And this also leads to have a partnership between you and Bharat Scouts and Guides. So I request Analendra ji, you don't leave Nazare Saab. You be behind him and you invest him as a scout leader. He can join Assam State Bharat Scouts and Guides, and he maybe can be given responsibility by talking with the State Chief Commissioner. And with this, we will strengthen our membership for what we are keeping this webinar. And at the same time, I would like to congratulate our young people. आप सभी ने जिस वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म को ज्वाइन किया, और आप लोगों ने कम समय में हमने इंफॉर्मेशन दी और आप लोगों ने रजिस्ट्रेशन किया. आप लोग इस प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से इस इम्पोर्टेंट webinar में ज्वाइन किया. And this is a series of webinar, as Analendra ji has announced. Any scout, guide, rover, ranger, or unit leader joining the webinar continuously. We are having this webinar till March. Any scout guide, our member joining continuously and submitting a report, that is feedback form, they will be honored by the national headquarters on important occasion. This was announced in the circular. And this is to inspire you, and you have to inspire us. So today I could see Dr. Saab, even Nazara Saab has taken a session on leadership. This is what the BSG play a vital role here. So Baden Powell, the founder of the movement, has written, a good leader always gives a lead, not a push. So this is what we could see today. So on behalf of the association, I would like to thank all the young people who have joined as participants. I would like to thank the core team member who are in the team on this series of webinar. And I would like to congratulate the master of ceremony of this webinar, Madam Anima, and Ms. Priyanka, our messenger of team of the Bharat Scouts and Guides. for nicely coordinating the event. I would also like to express my personal thanks to the regional headquarters, Northeast region, under the leadership of Sri Analindra Sarmaji, Assistant Director, who has taken a lead to organize this webinar in a very short span of time. And he has come up with a beautiful, brainstorming, and he has planned till March the schedule of this webinar. So I would like to congratulate Analji, and I would also like to give my appreciation to Mr. Gunajit Das of the Northeast Regional Headquarters, who could not be here today due to his father's annual ceremony, but he also deserves thanks for working very hard. So with this, I would like to thank all the unit leaders who have supported this webinar, all the Rovers Rangers, all the core team members, and all the state secretaries of the Bharat Scouts and Guides for supporting us in conducting this webinar very successfully. I would also like to thank our IT team from the national headquarters, especially Mr. Jahangir Pasa, who despite his hectic schedule, after one webinar after another, he has managed to facilitate with IT in organizing this webinar. So thank you, Mr. Pasa, for your support. Without IT team, it is not possible for us. We are field staff, but we need the support of IT team during this pandemic. So thank you very much. With this, once again, Nazare Saab, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. And really, we are inspired with your input, and definitely we'll be in touch together. And let us have a very good webinar, a workshop at the national level, and for the people of Northeastern region also, separate 5 days webinar on various expertise. We can invite and we can have a regional event also in Northeast somewhere. With this, I would like to thank each one of you, and I would like to hand over this to Sri Analindra Sarmaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Over to MC.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to thank you everyone for being with us and being an active participants. So I like to invite my co-host Priyanka Prajapat for vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Ankita. I, on behalf of the Bharat Scouts and Guides, first of all, extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success. With His blessings and grace, we are able to make this event what it was. I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our resource speaker, Shri Abhinash Narjari sir, who spared time from their busy schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. My gratitude to all the members working behind the screens, all official members for gracing the occasion and sharing their opinions today. Thank you so much for this informative and knowledgeable speech. For those who are new to this, it was a greater opportunity for all of them. Thank you, everyone. But do not forget to fill up the feedback form within the half an hour. The link is shared in the chat box and will be shared in the WhatsApp group too. So now I request everyone to stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you. Thank you to one and all. Every team, you can close the webinar.